How's it going? Cultured and knowledgeable audience, seekers of uncomfortable truths and lovers of fine sarcasm? Welcome to this corner, where we don't applaud palace choreographies. We watch the puppet strings. So make yourselves comfortable, adjust your lie detector, and get ready. Because today we're going to break down how Mexico delivered stability. In exchange for a little bit of your time, we're also going to break down the Shakespearean drama happening in the Olympus of continuity with change, a drama with fist-banging on the table and everything. And as if that wasn't enough, another American plane is flying over the Yucatan Peninsula, maybe searching for the secret recipe for panuchos or albutes. Settle in and grab your popcorn or legal protections. This is about to get tenser than dinner with that one relative. Chiro. Let's begin. It turns out that this week Mexico was very generous, right? It's not like gas prices went down or the basic food basket is on sale. What went on sale was sovereignty, that word they love to talk about so much. In the reports to hand over to Washington, not just any 37 criminals, but 37 strategic pieces selected with the precision of a surgeon who knows exactly where to cut to make the patient scream. The government, with its endless euphemisms, calls this an administrative procedure. But renewing your license is an administrative procedure. Turning over 37 men who know even the political power's underwear color in Mexico is a ticking time bomb ready to go off. These aren't the guys watching the corner. They're the ones with the maps of the financial routes. The names of those who looked the other way, those who made deals, and those who made the business flourish. While we were distracted with the airplane raffle, the official narrative says this is bilateral cooperation. What they don't mention is the judicial system up there doesn't run on kindness. The currency is gossip, or rather, collaboration testimony. And believe me, when these 37 find themselves in front of a United States prosecutor, they're not going to use their time to defend national sovereignty or to protect their former partners in the State Departments. They're going to sing like tenors at La Scala in Milan to save their own skin. We're discussing historic operators, former Sinaloa cartel partners, and international liaisons with detailed knowledge of cross-border corruption. Trump isn't asking them for civics lessons. He wants a complete map of the Mexican narco system. And Claudia Sheinbaum knows it. She knows that each one of those 37 is a potential risk that could bring down the official narrative in a matter of weeks. Donald Trump, known for his directness with peers, has realized he holds ideal leverage. He wants heads with strategic value, not abstract results. Every concession that Mexico makes, Trump translates into a clear and strong message. I pressure, I threaten, and I get what I want. Meanwhile, we're still talking about restraint and diplomacy. You know the funniest part, if you can even call it that? That the Mexican government is giving up its best cards, hoping to buy time. But time is on the side of the Stars and Stripes team. Trump is in the spotlight and craves even more attention. They tell us that our sovereignties are intact, but sovereignty isn't measured by how many times you shout Viva Mexico from a balcony. It's measured by independent decision-making, and today that ability is in intensive care. Acting just to avoid intervention means you're already conditioned. Surrendering 92 criminals in a year shows urgency, not strength. Have you already lost your flexibility? If we truly had control, these trials would happen here, under our defense, laws, and in our prisons. Instead, we send them away since the narco system here is so dense it's easier to handle elsewhere. Also, as stated by Batman of Tianguis himself, Omar Garcia Harfouch, those criminals, if they stay here, keep committing crimes from inside the prisons. In other words, he exposed the ineptitude of the entire penal system in our country. The question is no longer whether there will be handovers. The question is, what will happen when those 37 start releasing the members of the Quay Antarctica? The more traditional ones? Demusara, limit. The bus was just to cover up the sun with a finger. The discourse of cooperation is going to turn into an internal crisis. Kronos system, background strategy stadium. Just allergic to Trump's statements? Trump to the gossipers. Martin Baume, Elscheinbaum, stamped his face of peace and love with a, "I'm in charge here and everyone else be quiet," at least in his circle. He reportedly gave a legendary verbal lashing to his security right-hand man, Omar Garcia Harfouch. The reason? Claudia clearly disliked the recent handover of 37 criminals to the Americans, and the strategic blows to certain criminal groups, which just so happened to have been the ones protected during the previous administration. They say Chachis is furious, losing that calm that lasted her about as long as a sigh of hope at a campaign rally. For those who think this is just an invention of the conservative press, let's remember that our leader has a history of being, let's say, short-tempered. Some people have known her since way back in 1986, and they know that when she gets angry, things start flying. It's rumored that back when she was a delegate in Tlalpan, she slammed the table so hard that the office glass ended up in pieces. So if you see Harfouch looking down, you know it's not humility, it's caution. But here's the real scoop. Regardless of any scolding, some sources say Harfouch and Claudia are completely in sync. The real issue? He has a first and last name and lives in Palenque, or wherever the old man is. Nonsense. Andrés Manuel López Obrador is likely very unhappy for 3 major reasons. The fentanyl denial. The Macaspano donkey got tired of saying that fentanyl wasn't produced in Mexico. And then Harfouch arrives, under Claudia's orders, and starts confiscating labs and drugs everywhere. What a way to make the boss look bad. Then, Claudia appears to be following the United States' demands. This exposes the consent, not to say complicity, that existed in the previous administration with certain criminal groups. And then we have the untouchable friends. The recent actions show a stark contrast with the hugs policy of the previous 6-year term. This puts at risk individuals who can't be explained without the protection of the old Guango, López Obrador, like some governors, senators, deputies, or close friends now under scrutiny. Meanwhile, there's an internal party conflict. Remember, the true loyalists and guardians of the faith, such as Barty Beatriz, Sabina Berman, and Hernan Gomez, who failed to become Mexico City's head of government. Now, seeing him as the enforcer of a policy that contradicts the legacy of the Macaspana donkey is an affront they don't easily forgive. Whether or not there's a scolding is secondary. What's clear is there are cracks and tensions. A president is realizing that running a country is much harder than inheriting a ceremonial staff. As if that weren't enough, Donald Trump's breathing down her neck is feeling more and more uncomfortable. It's none other than the warm and technological embrace of the United States Army. It turns out that while you were worried about whether the Maya train would arrive on time or about the price of limes, some very special guests decided to take an 11-hour tour along our blessed coasts. Let's talk about the main character of this espionage soap opera. Another plane, but this time a Boeing P-8, a Poseidon. This is not just any little propeller plane. This gem is called Eyes and Ears with Wings. Think of it like a nosy neighbor who knows when you get home and with whom, but on steroids, with electronic interception technology and flying at over 46,000 feet. This device didn't just pass by and say goodbye. No, sir. It was flying all over the peninsula, from the coasts of Campeche to El Cuyo, and back again and again, for 11 hours of recording. What patience those pilots had. They were likely searching for something important in the sand, or maybe just checking if Las Coloradas water is really as pink as it appears on Instagram. But since Poseidon is too important to just walk around, he only brought his escorts. 3 F-5 planes took off without a care from Key West, Florida. 4 military planes in total, with the United States Army logos clearly displayed, walking in our backyard. Best of all, you don't need to be a CIA agent to see them. Thanks to the magic of the internet, anyone with Flight Radar Report can clearly intercept electronic signals and take long-range photographs. They're seeing and hearing something. Could it be that they want the secret recipe for black stuffing? Or are they checking if by any chance there's a lost submarine among the mangroves? The truth is that around 8 at night, after scanning us down to our DNA, they decided that was enough. They turned around and went back to their bases in Florida. Just like that, without asking for permission, without saying excuse me, and probably with a digital photo album that even National Geographic would envy. So now you know, next time you go out to the yard in your underwear to hang up the laundry, try to comb your hair a little. We don't want to look bad on the Pentagon's high-resolution screens. It's a small amount of air sovereignty compared to the certainty that Uncle Sam knows exactly what we had for breakfast today. Well, there you have it. Reality doesn't conform to power. even if power tries to comb it every morning. Thank you for coming this far, questioning things, and not accepting the official story without doubt. Did this not-so-humble video column upset your stomach a little or open your eyes? I've accomplished my goal, so I'll say goodbye, but first, a reminder, country. Reality always surpasses parody, and sometimes hugs come with a slap on a glass table included. Remember, memory is our best defense. Don't be fooled by rushed numbers or narrative control. See you here on Monday, where data isn't used to decorate the altar, but to question whoever is sitting on the throne. Goodbye, and may you be ready for change. I'll read your comments.
In the comments, you can make your donations via PayPal. You'll find the relevant information in the comment box. Thanks to you, this channel stays active. Please subscribe, like, and hit the bell for notifications on new content. Thank you.